Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So in this video we're going to talk about some reasons why I think you probably should consider picking up the Galaxy Note 20 over the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. So this will be straightforward, just a few things I checked off on a list so far after using this phone for I think 48 hours or so. And I'm doing a comparison to my experience with the Galaxy Note Ultra. So if you haven't seen that video, it almost feels like a full review of the Ultra already, because it's definitely not what I expected, in a good way, but it's just not as impressive as I thought it was going to be. But this phone right here, and also this is the Exynos version. So some reasons why, and be sure to hit the link in the description and grab yours from wirelessplace.com while they're on sale for $850, I believe it is, this particular one. So some reasons to grab the Exynos version over the Snapdragon version. One thing you'll note is that you won't have 5G in the US, but you will have LTE. It has all the bands that'll operate on GSM providers in the US. So I need to point that out to you. But it's on LTE for me. It's fast, it's great, speeds are good. And 5G isn't developed yet. So this gives you a chance to grab something that is gonna last you for quite some time to come. But links are in the description. So this phone, from what I gather from using it next to the Ultra, obviously this one is smaller and it feels better. The size of this one right here is actually a lot better than the Ultra. I mean, it's the Ultra for a reason. It's that person who wants just that ginormous display. But the real kicker is this phone screen is 6.7 and the Note Ultra is only 6.9, but the footprint of the device is so much bigger than this phone. It's such a better feeling phone to hand. I said it before, if you've used the Galaxy S20 Plus, you've used this device. But this phone feels better in the hand than the S20 Plus because it has a flat display and like a nice sloping back on it. It's really nice. So the size of this device, I think, is a lot better, obviously. That's an obvious one. It's smaller, so it probably will feel better. But you're still getting a lot with this smaller size screen. So, and since I'm talking about the screen is absolutely beautiful. You get the same beautiful, vibrant content when you're watching videos on this device in comparison to the Note 20 Ultra. It's no different. They pretty much have the same technology. One is just 120 hertz and one is 60 hertz, and one's Quad HD and one's 1080p. But you ask yourself, really, am I really going to be able to tell if it's that much difference? So there'll always be tech bullies that'll tell you, oh, this is a bad deal, you shouldn't get this. But I feel like those people you should avoid, and you should make your own choice on what you want to purchase. And I just try to lay the foundation for you to give, both sides of the coin, give you some options. And I feel like this screen is more than enough. I mean, for everyday consumers, some consumers don't even know how to go in and change their camera to 4K record. And there's a lot more people that are like that than you could possibly imagine. So when it comes to the screen, it's all they're going to see is big, beautiful screen. And that's what you get with this device right here. So that's another reason why I think that this is a good option over the Ultra, because you're pretty much getting the same type of performance when it comes to the screen. Now, battery life is something that I didn't expect to be good on here because, again, the tech bullies say, oh, it's got an Exynos, it's not going to be good. And, in my experience, remember, I sync my phones. So I transfer. Basically, I have all the applications on one there across all of my devices because I try to only put applications on my device that I'm going to use. So with this phone, I actually grabbed roughly, 7-8 hours of screen on time. And I still had about 25% left, but I got in the car and I plugged it up to listen to music. And then I was like, okay, well, that solves that. So I really don't need to take any screenshots anyway, because I can just show you here in the settings those days. So as you can see, these days right here, I started in that day and I roughly got 3. And then the next day I got 5, or roughly 5, because that's when I plugged it into the car. But roughly 7 to 8 hours of screen on time, and I had 25% left, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, "Whoa, this is much better than I thought it was going to be." And remember, battery life always depends on you. you determine whether you're going to get good battery life or not, because it depends on what applications you're using, and it depends on how you're using your phone, how far you have the brightness up. People always ask me, where's your brightness at? It's on auto. I just leave it on auto. So, and speaking of outside brightness, brightness outside, it's pretty good. It's I don't normally stare at my phone in direct sunlight. I'll just move to some shade, which I think is what most people probably would do. But the screen is good for brightness. Now, battery life, again, you will get what you get. I'm checking the box saying that this battery is actually pretty good. I think if I were to really run it down, I could probably go 24 hours or more with roughly 8 hours of screen on time. And that's really good, because some people think that this battery is going to be bad because of the Exynos processor, and it has a smaller battery, which is 4300, I believe. But that's still 4300 milliamps, and that's a big battery. But again, tech bullies will tell you that, oh, they took away battery, or, they made it smaller. They should have done this. And I agree. This should be a 5,000 or more milliamp hour battery, because it can totally be done. It can totally be done, but they just choose not to. But since we're working with what we have, for me, the battery is really good. And I'd love to hear from some people who actually have this model, the Exynos version, the international version. How's your battery life? Because mine is great. So battery life also depends on your cell phone signal, so remember that. Another crazy reason is, obvious reason, is that it costs less. Now, even this international version right here costs even less than the Snapdragon version, because wirelessplace.com, that's the plug, hit yours up, the link in the description. They're charging $859 for it, I believe, right now, instead of $999. So they're gonna undercut it. I've been dealing with this company for a long time, and they're gonna give you the lowest price. So I think that when it comes to the price, this is a lot lower in price even than the Snapdragon version. And another good thing about the lower price of this international model from them is that the international version gets headphone jacks, and it gets double the memory. Now, there's no SD card slot, but it has 256 gigs of storage, and you get your headphones that you wanted oh so badly. So that is something that you really should take note of, because 256 gigs of storage is a lot of storage. And if I remember correctly, Samsung actually took away memory, or they not took away, but they lowered the memory options. They split them too far apart. The Snapdragon version should have been a 256 gig version. It's just not right, because they're probably trying to sell their memory cards or something like that. It's just price gouging at its best. It's Samsung as a whole. This is just price gouging at its best. You really should not be charging $1,000 for 128 gigs of storage at this point in the game, because this $350 phone right here has 128 gigs of storage. Okay, so yeah, squash that. So the memory option is definitely better on the Exynos version. So I think that's something that you really should consider. And overall, folks, this is a Galaxy Note. It's a Galaxy Note. So you have your S Pen, you have all the functionality of an S Pen, taking notes, controlling the cameras with the S Pen. There's just a bunch of reasons to buy a Galaxy Note. And I personally feel like the S line clashes with the Galaxy Note, and I think they really should do something with the S line. Just go with the A line going forward. The S line, it just kind of, to me at this point, pick the Galaxy Note line or pick the S line. Pick one of them. Because yes, I know there's people out there that are going to say that it's just an option, But really, what is the point of having both of these lines now? I mean, we've been at this for a long time, and now they have the A line. So, that's kind of, these two just clash. You already know what the Galaxy Note is going to look like or feel like or be like, because you can buy the S line ahead of time. And you're basically getting the same phone minus the S Suite. That's all you're getting. And for people now, I think the S20 Ultra had a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and the Note doesn't. The Note Ultra does not have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And I understand people's point of view on that. I think that's just not fair. Again, price gouging at its best. So, the Galaxy Note models out there, the Exynos version with the international version versus the US version, you have to make a choice. I told you at the beginning of the video, you probably won't get 5G on here. You'll get LTE for sure, though, and 5G isn't fully developed yet. So, and just so you know, the majority of the world is probably still going to be running LTE phones for the next 5 to 10 years. Let's just be honest here. For LTE, we're not even getting the full advantages of LTE, and they're already moving on to 5G. You see, my 5G phones don't run faster than don't get faster speeds than my LTE devices. It just doesn't happen. So that's just what it is. It's just not there yet. But some people will say, oh, it's future-proof. Listen, nothing is future-proof, because the next thing they'll be saying, we've got 6G out right when 5G starts to get a little good. Same thing. Remember 3G? It got a little good. Oh, here comes LTE. Okay. Yeah, you get the gist of it. So the Galaxy Note 20, this international version with the Exynos processor, it's not bad as what people might say. And the last thing I want to touch on, and I know I talked about the hardware and the size and everything, but I didn't talk about this phone having a plastic back. Because honestly, folks, also the camera bump. The camera bump is another thing. It's a lot smaller camera bump, and that means something to someone. But this phone having a plastic back, folks, you know, again, those tech snobs, those tech bullies will tell you it's trash, or you shouldn't do it, Samsung's trying to rob you. Fact is, we're getting robbed by every company right now, except for, I feel like, this company. This phone right here is giving us, this phone can do everything this phone can do except for the S Pen suite. And it also does it better in a lot of ways. So, and I'm just holding these two up because these are the two phones I have right here, but this $350 phone works just as well, if not better, than this $859 phone or $1,000 phone or $1,500 phone, depending on which Galaxy Note you have. So when people try to lay the foundation that Samsung's robbing you, everybody's robbing you right now. If you're paying more than $400 for a phone, if you're paying anything more than $350 and it's not a Pixel, then I personally feel like you're getting robbed. We all are. We all getting robbed at some point or another. So the foundation for this device, some people will say, why does the Galaxy Note 20 even exist? Well, the Galaxy Note 20 exists for people like me, my sister, my wife, whoever wants a small Galaxy Note, compared to the ginormous 6.9 Galaxy Note. Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that love a really huge phone, but most of us now carry a big phone and a small phone. And so I think when it comes to picking a Samsung, and again, on the record, if you have a S20 or any of those S10, you really don't need to upgrade. S10, S20, you don't need to upgrade. Even S9, if your S9 still works, and S9 just got the 2.5 UI update. So basically catching up to the same. I told you before, I've got $100 phones that work the same as these $1,000 phones, these $1,500 phones. So in the end, all these companies are price gouging and they're charging a whole bunch for phones. But with me being the techie person, I enjoy tech, but I'm still not going to get on video and tell you to, or forcefully tell you that something is bad just based on my opinion. It's a tactful and tasteful way to do it. However, this is actually a really good phone. And I still would tell you $850 is it's not a drop in the bucket. So and this is the unlocked version. It's the international unlocked version. So you have to pay full cost for it, finance it, however you have to do it. But you're doing that anyway with these other phones that cost double the price. So just consider the source, you know, which is me and wirelessplace.com. Consider my channel and how I present things to you, and know that this phone, and when I tell you it's not bad, for those that bought the Snapdragon version, you're going to love the phone. You're going to love it. I mean, because you're not going to be focusing on whether you think it's plastic or not. You're just not going to do that. You're going to get the phone, feel it, and say, wow, this is great. You're getting all the functionality of a Galaxy Note Ultra or Galaxy Note 10 Plus. You're getting all the same functionality of any Galaxy Note in the recent days. And I think that you're probably going to be happy with this device, plastic back or not. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.